when you're talking about Kyrie Irving, listen, Greeny, if you take Kyrie Irving brain and put it in a bird right now, guess what that bird is going to do? It's going to fly backwards. Because Kyrie right now, he's confused. He's showing his lack of leadership. Here it is, Kyrie, you have been on these conference calls over the last 2 months. You're the vice president of the Players Association. You have been very involved in all this that has been taking place for us, whether or not we're going to play or not. And you have been on the phone and you have voted to play. And also, we go back last week. Just last week, he was reaching out to the Players Association and the NBA about, players that are on the inactive list. Can they travel to Orlando? That he said he wanted to go to Orlando and be part of the team and be with his team and be a leader. And all of a sudden, within the next 7 days, because from what I was told, the NBA said, no, you can't go because of the pandemic and coronavirus situation, that the bodies that are there are bodies that, that need to be people in place to, take part in action. And so, in my opinion, when you look at Kyrie, I'm okay with you changing your mind and having a different way of thinking and saying, you know what, we need to make a stance, and sit out. But what is the plan after that? He didn't have one. So once again, that showed his lack of leadership, Greeny. And guess what's been going on for the last 2 days in our world? 2 people have been lynched in the state of Texas. Young African-American young lady was killed in Akron, Ohio, behind a hate crime. And have that been highlighted like it should have been? No, because for the last 2 days, we have been talking about Kyrie Irving.
God.
Kyrie Irving, right now, you are the distraction. You are the distractor. You distracting the whole situation. So it's crazy to me because, you come out and you do something separately without talking to your president, Chris Paul, or consulting with Michelle Roberts, and go off and do something totally different and get a group of guys together and say, let's sit out without a plan. It makes zero sense.
All right, that's enough of that, as I was starting to get upset. First of all, the check definitely cleared. Propaganda via LeBron. Shout out to Kendrick Perkins, the check cleared. Look here, man. You don't really need a fucking plan to sit out. There's no way you can plan a sit out or a protest. You don't need a plan. When he calls him a distraction, first of all, ESPN wasn't going to report any of that stuff anyway, as far as the lynchings that's been going on, black men getting hung, the girl who got killed in Ohio. So don't make it seem like, oh, y'all are not talking about that only because of Kyrie Irving. Bullshit. Then when you call a man out of his name, it's another thing. So basically, and this is a big reason why it's hard for us to have black unity or camaraderie, because it always seems like corporate America and the powers that be can dangle a check in front of some of these niggas' faces, almost like a carrot. And if the check got enough zeros on it, they'll do whatever you ask them to do. There's certain guys who were known as real ones and real dudes and all of that, respected by their peers, that have become analysts for the media. And I'm not talking about guys like Shannon Sharp who might say something you might not like. I'm talking like the gatekeepers, the puppets, the Stephen A. Smiths, the Kendrick Perkins of the world, the Charles Barkleys, where it's almost as if I don't even believe anything Kendrick is saying. It's almost as if someone told him to say that. Mind you, majority of the NBA owners, who of course are in favor of the NBA coming back because they don't want to lose money and this and that. Other than Mark Cuban, I haven't heard from any of these NBA owners. You don't think some of them are paying some of these cats on ESPN and Fox to speak in favor of the NBA versus, of course, Matt Barnes just was saying the same shit. Matt Barnes had called Kyrie out and said, oh, you should do what Maya Moore did and leave the WNBA and take a stand. These guys are just saying shit, and just like you're saying Kyrie has no plan, I just don't think this shit is coming from a genuine place. And it's not about basketball. This shit is bigger than basketball, obviously. I want to see what Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson are going to do when they do their next episode of All the Smoke, because Steven Jackson is on the Kyrie Irving bandwagon. It's actually Avery Bradley. It's a few of them. Now they did this voice conference call with 100 players, and somebody leaked out the information. But when you get to Kevin Durant, and him and Kendrick Perkins played 4 years in OKC, they were good friends. They've had their up and downs. I think Perkins got on him when he found out KD had that burner account. And I'm not the biggest fan of KD as a person. I think he's a mama's boy. He's kind of sensitive, but he's the best player on earth when he's healthy. Best scorer, at least. And when they put up this clip of Kendrick Perkins calling Kyrie a distractor, he called him a sellout. KD said sellout. And then to be petty, he retweeted a video of Kendrick airballing a free throw from years ago, probably when they was teammates. And Kendrick is like, I'm sorry I hurt you, brother. I wish we could be friends again. Well, I don't know why you acting like, yeah, because you probably disappointed him. That's why. Because he can tell you're being paid as a gatekeeper by the media to fucking spew their agendas. Because the NBA owners aren't going to fucking speak up. The GMs aren't going to speak up. They're going to use niggas like you to speak up for them, to keep people in their place. Like, oh, Kyrie, don't stand up now. We need basketball. We need this. This is more important than social injustice. According to these motherfuckers. I don't see how you need a plan for a protest. Just don't fucking play. I mean, what is... I don't understand. Like I say, this is what happens when you got niggas getting paid to speak up for the masses. They're going to always say what the master tell them to say. And Kendrick Perkins, like I say, he was an okay player. He gave you 10 points, 10 boards a game. He was a part of that Boston thing. You know, he was a part of the ride. He wasn't really an integral part of it. But, you know, a lot of people won't take him seriously because he wasn't that great of a player. But to me, it's just, and he's had a lot of issues with guys since he's been in the media. Like I say, guys who he was cool with. And I'm not talking because he criticized them for their game. It was just little petty shit. You want to criticize me as a player, fine, but don't call me out my name. You know, don't call Kyrie Irving a distraction. Don't act like ESPN was gonna cover any of this lynching shit if it wasn't for Kyrie Irving. You're fucking bugging. Y'all wasn't gonna talk about that, just like y'all never talk about shit. Y'all just started talking about police brutality recently. Now Anthony Lynn from the Chargers and the NFL all of a sudden wants to sign Colin Kaepernick. After 4 years, y'all played dumb and made it seem like, oh, he was disrespecting the flag. Oh, now it's okay to fucking sign him. This shit is a joke. And it really just kind of turns me off from sports overall because the politics in sports and the bullshit is just, it's beyond me. You know, do I want to see basketball? Yeah, but am I going to die if they don't bring it back? No. It's, you know, we went this long without it. It's not going to hurt you. You know, stand up for something for fucking once. For once. You know, for once. And for people who think this is cool, imagine if Laura Ingraham said the same shit about LeBron and Perkins. I mean, about Kyrie Irving or something. You'd probably be furious, you know. But they'll get someone who looks like you, who plays your sport, to do the same shit, and people look at it differently. So if Kyrie Irving had a change of heart, and you know, after the conference calls, and so be it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna knock somebody for. Everybody wakes up or becomes conscious at different time periods of their life. You know, and if Kyrie Irving decided that, you know, he thinks social injustice is more of a priority than fucking basketball, great. You know, good for him. I don't see why. If just let the man sit out and stop talking about it. But y'all constantly keep refueling it because y'all want to talk about it because you got nothing else to talk about. So it is what it is, man. Hit that thumbs up button. Let me know what y'all think, man. Kendrick Perkins is a fuck boy. You know, but like I say, when you hit that, when they dangle that carrot in front of these niggas, that big check, it kind of reminds me of when Mary J. Blige did that Burger King commercial years ago, and she was dancing on the table, singing about chicken tenders, and she had to apologize. She didn't realize the stereotype they had her pushing, and she said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at all the zeros on the check, and I didn't even realize what I was doing." And that's how simple it is. You know, it's scary, but money is a big factor in black division. And when you can put a certain amount of dollars and zeros on a check, some of these dudes, they don't give a fuck. They'll sell out in a minute. So yeah, I agree with Kevin Durant. Kendrick Perkins sold out. He didn't sell out yesterday. He been sold out. He sold out the day he signed that contract with ESPN up in Bristol. But yeah, let me know what y'all think, man. I'm out of here.